Ever paid for a finance app that looks amazing up front, but turned out to be a cluttered mess with hidden limits and useless features? Yeah, me too. You start out hopeful, but a week later you're stuck with buggy syncing, missing transactions, and no real insights. Monarch Money promises to fix all of that, but is Monarch Money worth it, or is it just another polished tool that disappoints when it counts? I tested every tool, dug into real user reviews and complaints, and I found the truth that most reviews miss in my own experience, so I want to break it down for you. So before trusting any finance app like Monarch Money, I actually always start with the user feedback. Not the polished marketing fluff on the website and the top reviews, but the actual experiences people have had in the middle and lower ones. And let me tell you, they're not shy about voicing frustrations or praise in the 5-star or the 1-star reviews. So one review stood out to me, and he said he genuinely liked the app, he logged in every day, he loved customizing his account, and he appreciated how easy it was to visualize the data. But then he felt that $100 a year was too much for how he used it. He only needed a few features like cash flow tracking and net worth, and didn't care for things like multi-user access or the deeper budgeting tools. He even suggested a simpler, cheaper tier for people like him. And now I get where he's coming from. Not everyone needs the full toolkit, but here's what I noticed. That review felt more like a feature request than a red flag for the type of review it was. And frankly, most modern apps have similar pricing structures. And to be fair, on the flip side, the overwhelming majority of reviews seem to be having a great experience and nothing really negative to say. One guy said he's tried nearly every personal finance tool out there, Copilot, Simplify, Empower, Wallet, Buy, Budget Bakers, you name it, but Monarch is actually the only one that he renewed. He called it a power user's dream, saying that the features mesh beautifully if you take the time to learn them. And here's another user who used to constantly deal with frustrating connectivity issues and actually came back to give the Monarch team some serious kudos. He said that those issues were completely cleaned up eventually, and more importantly, the message that Monarch now sends out are way clearer. Like when E-Trade disconnects, instead of some vague error message, Monarch will tell you exactly why and what you need to do. So that kind of transparency, it matters. He even said it now feels worth the $100 per year. So is Monarch worth it? Well, the verdict from users is pretty balanced. Some want simpler pricing tiers, but many more feel that they're finally in control of their finances and sticking with Monarch because of it. What really sold me on Monarch Money, though, wasn't just the reviews and looking at, the top and bottom reviews. It was actually when I started to use it myself and getting into the features. First off, Monarch's budgeting, I think, is really genuinely flexible. You can go with a traditional method where each category gets a strict budget, or you can opt for their flex budgeting approach, which is more high level and focuses on variable spending. This was a game changer for me. I personally bounce between both types depending on how predictable my income is for that month, or I can assign different amounts to each one. So if you're also switching providers, like say your credit card account stops syncing properly, you could actually transfer all of your transaction and balance history to the new account. I had to do this when my old Amex connection broke. Monarch lets me move everything over in minutes, and it just took a really short amount of time. No data loss, no starting over. I didn't even know that this was possible with most apps. Like usually you just have to copy paste it, or you just do it by hand. And their cash flow tools, even better than I expected. You can drill down by month, quarter, year, filter by merchants, category, even tags. I didn't realize how much I was spending on food deliveries until I ran that kind of report, but now I get to see income versus my expenses clearly. Even your savings rate is calculated for you, and that insight alone, I think, paid for the subscription in my mind, especially for how much I saved on deciding not to eat out anymore, or at least not as much. But what about their reports? These aren't just pretty graphs. They actually help you make smarter decisions. Like I saw a spending spike last March, pulled up the report, and it turns out that I had stacked subscriptions that I forgot to cancel. So without Monarch pointing it out, I'd still be leaking money there on like an extra subscription that I didn't need. Monarch Money also handled recurring expenses really beautifully. It automatically detects bills, paychecks, subscriptions, you name it, everything that happens, on a recurring basis. I get reminded when something's even off, like if Netflix charges me twice, or if one of the bills, like the phone bill, starts to creep up. It's like having an audit system built in. And then there's the investment tracking. So Monarch tries to pull everything in automatically, but If your brokerage is a little obscure, you can just add your holdings manually too. I had to do this for some crypto holdings and a couple of niche ETFs. It took maybe 10 minutes total, and now I get accurate portfolio snapshots of everything in one place. I also tested their Amazon Retail Sync extension. So this thing is low-key genius. Instead of dumping every Amazon order into this generic shopping bucket, it breaks them down by actual items and assigns them the proper categories, so it won't just lump it all under one label. It makes reviewing your spending so much easier when you actually know what the items are that you are buying. Oh, and the credit score tracking, that's built in now too, and you can monitor it right in the app and get notified of any changes. It's surprisingly accurate, and I loved having one fewer place to log into to check out my financial health. So Monarch even works perfectly on the iPad now. The full screen view gives you the same features as the desktop version, and you can customize the app navigation so you can see about the things that you care about the most. Now, I have tried other competitors like Empower and Quick and Simplify too. Empower is great for investment dashboards, but budgeting, it's maybe a little stiff. Simplify is sleek, but it feels a bit locked down when it comes to customizing categories or changing recurring items. Monarch just feels more intuitive to me, more open. And when you want to collaborate with maybe a spouse or partner and make like a joint thing, Monarch's live sync makes it like really seamless to do, and it's really easy to work with them. My partner and I could both log into the same account, so make changes and see the updates instantly because it's all synced together. And there's also constant updates. They're constantly improving it. I've seen updates come through that actually fix issues that I flagged myself. So that kind of responsiveness really matters when you're relying on a tool to run basically your entire financial life. Now, is everything like perfect under the hood? Well, not quite. So when I first signed up, I did feel a little overwhelmed by what I saw. The sheer number of features too, like budget types, filters, reports, it can feel like just a lot if you're like just dipping your toes into personal finance tracking. I caught myself wondering if I was like unnecessarily overcomplicating things at first, but after maybe 2 or 3 sessions, it started to make sense to me, and now I really appreciate having all of that detail at my fingertips. So yeah, there is a learning curve, but I wouldn't call it a deal breaker really. If anything, it's a sign that this platform isn't dumbed down for anyone. Monarch is built for people who actually want to take control of their money and everything that comes with, not just glance at a few numbers and move on. All right, so now what about the cost of the Monarch Money app? Well, depending on how you use it, some people maybe might say Monarch Money is priced on the higher side, especially if you're only using it for basic tracking. But in my experience, it's totally fair for what you get. The clarity, the control, and the peace of mind, that stuff's worth investing in. Plus, Monarch sometimes runs promos or discounts, so it's always worth checking. We'll keep the link updated in the description below, so you can always see their current pricing plan and take advantage of any current deals. And if you're wondering if Monarch app is worth it for you, I'd say check the features for yourself and see if that really aligns with what you actually need. The link is in the description, and that should help you make the call. So do I consider Monarch Money worth it? I think if you want more control, better budgeting, and smarter insights into your money, then yeah, I think it absolutely is. But like any tool, it only works if you use it to the best extent that you can use it. And all the tools, they're all available there. If you really want to take control of your finances there, I think check the link in the description and you can get started with the special discount and really find out if it's meant for you.